Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I am doing this video to warn those of you that may be affected by this, and it seems like a lot of people will, to prepare right now for it. You're being told what's going to happen, so prepare for it now. It says here that half of Americans face power blackouts this summer. All right, tens of millions of Americans could be thrown into a summer of hell as a mega drought, heat waves, and reduced power generation could trigger widespread rolling electric blackouts from the Great Lakes to the West Coast, according to Bloomberg, who is citing a new report from the North American Electricity Reliability Corporation, or NERC. All right. It says here that NERC warned that power supplies in western U.S. could be strained this summer as a historic drought reduces hydroelectric power. And we've talked about that, how the dams are at the lowest levels that they've ever been pretty much due to falling reservoir levels and what's expected to be an unseasonably hot summer. Compound the hellacious weather backdrops with grids decommissioning fossil fuel power plants to fight climate change and their inability to bring on new green power generation, such as solar, wind, and batteries in time, is a perfect storm to happen that will produce electricity deficits that may force power companies into rolling blackouts for stability purposes. So pretty much what they're saying here, ladies and gentlemen, give you the skinny on it, is that all of these new initiatives that we're coming up with to save the earth, what they're doing is they're making the same mistakes that I've talked about other countries making. All right, so in the past, I've talked about other countries wanting to go completely green, but instead of doing it in stages and, for example, replacing one thing with another, until that one thing that they replaced the other with is in full capacity. So let's say, for example, that we want to get rid of a coal power plant. All right, that's great. But before you get rid of that coal power plant, make sure that whatever alternative energy you are going to be using, that is at full capacity. Meaning that if let's say you're going to do solar panels, that you have enough solar panels set up already and enough battery backup power set up to satisfy the needs of the consumers that were consuming off of that one coal power plant. But instead, what they're doing is they're shutting down plants without already having the alternative in place to take over for the capacity that previous power plant they had up was already giving them. I hope that I said that in a way that you can understand. So they're not doing this. So what's going to happen is we're going to have brownouts. We're going to have blackouts, especially when people start getting hot this summer. That's not a problem here, getting hot in Alaska. But what I'm here to tell you today is to warn you. Make sure that right now, ladies and gentlemen, not very many people, I'm not sure how hot it's getting in the, in the warmer states this time of year, because right now outside, well, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning, and right now outside is probably in the high 30s or the mid to high 30s. So we don't really have that problem here in the summertime where it gets so hot that we can't live, right? That we can't function. So what do you want to be doing now? You want to be going out there and getting yourselves your generators, whatever kind of generator suits you. In my opinion, I would always get a gas-powered generator or an alternate fuel generator, dual fuel generator first before I got a solar generator. Yes, solar generators are becoming more difficult to find nowadays, and I just went to my Amazon storefront to show you what I've got here. However, just get it now, because you're going to need it. You should have a generator anyways. So you can see all of these solar generators that I recommend here. I actually have to put the Opus 1800 in here because I believe it is a very good machine. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, I would always recommend a regular generator. And I wanted to go ahead and throw this out there that we have some big generators, right? Unless you specifically need a really big generator, like this one right here is a 7,500 watt, right, continuous watt gasoline generator. That there is enough to power pretty much 2 homes. And the reason I say that is because most of the outlets, I'm going to call them outlets or plugs that you plug into your house, they're usually 30 amps, right? And 30 amps only equals out to be roughly 4,000 or so watts. So if you have something that's 7,500 watts, it's going to have a 30 amp plug, but really a lot of that energy is going to be wasting. So if I had to do it over again, I would have gotten one that was a little bit smaller. However, this is the one that I have right here, but the bigger one. And when I bought that, it was actually on sale at Costco a couple of years ago. So I ended up getting the bigger one of this Furman for like, I think it was $599, which was a great deal for an 8,000 watt, I believe, 8,500 watt generator. So you don't have to get yourself the biggest generator that you need. I do have a video out there that shows you how to calculate how many running watts you need, continuous running watts you need off of your generator to power all of the appliances and or devices that you would like to power during a power outage, during an electrical outage. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that video linked right here on a little card. You should see a little card popping up so that you can go visit that. If you don't have a generator and you're wanting to figure out what size generator do I need to get, this is what I would start with, ladies and gentlemen, something that's gas powered. Why? Because as long as you have gasoline or propane, depending on what type you get, you're always going to be able to have power, right? As long as your generator is maintained and you have fuel for it, you will have power. You can't really tell whether it's going to be sunny today or not, and you cannot control that. You cannot control whether there's going to be sun out. You cannot control whether there's going to be wind that day if you have a turbine, electricity generator. So this is what I would recommend always. And then of course, make sure that you have fuel for it and capacity. Make sure that you have the capacity of fuel for this, that you can run it for however long you feel comfortable with being able to run it during a power outage, be it 3 or 4 hours a day, or be it for a week in a row, right? Depending on you, depending on your situation, because we all live in different parts of the country and the world. So this is the first thing that I would recommend. But the reason I'm saying is this: get it now, ladies and gentlemen. And if you live in really hot areas, go ahead and get yourself your backup air conditioner now. You can run a small air conditioner off of one of these small generators right here. Usually a small 5,000 BTU air conditioner that you put in the window, those usually only run on about 1,000 watts. So one of these small generators will be able to handle that. If I had my choice, I would get one of the bigger ones. That way you can run multiple things at the same time. Although these small ones, man, they only sip gasoline. They last a really long time on a tank of gasoline, which is usually like a little under a gallon. I remember the last time that I ran the one that I have this one right here. The last time I ran it for about 10 hours. That's about how long the tank lasted me, about 10 hours. All right, so I really recommend this one, but I recommend any of these. These here are the more noisy ones. And then you also have this one right here, this Furman, which is not that much of a noisy one. If you want to spend the big bucks, go get a Honda. But I do know that at Costco right now, they have the Furman that's not very noisy, and it's the 3,500 watt one. A pretty good deal. The price for it is about the same as the price for the big one. But you're getting one that's not that noisy if that's what you're looking for. All right. I think that solar generators complement gasoline generators very much. I think they complement each other. And if you're able to have both, then I would have both. Because whenever you're running your gas generators, you can always be powering up your solar generators if you don't have sun where you live, which is where I fall in during the winter time. All right. So they complement each other very well. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to get it, because when the masses finally wake up, we see it every year here. Every year here, we see air conditioners, whenever it gets a little bit hot outside, we see them just get stripped. You could probably go to Home Depot right now, or I think I seen air conditioners at Costco here not too long ago, a few days ago, if not a week ago, and nobody's buying them. But as soon as that, as soon as that thermometer here hits 85, 90 degrees, people will go and buy them out. And I know that that sounds kind of funny to some of you that live in areas where it gets 120 degrees or so. But, you get acclimated to the weather in which you live. And that's how it happens here. Once it hits 85, 90 degrees, people are going out there and buying air conditioners. So I hope you got something out of this. Get this stuff now. And that's not even talking about the supply chain, whether they'll be even available once you really need them. So go get them now if you can. Having said that, thank you very much. Have a great day today. I'm not sure if I'll be putting this video out before our live stream or later on tonight, because I've already put out a video out early today. So I'll let you digest that one first before I put this one out. Other than that, have a great day. God bless you all.